Shoot.
Stop
Hey,
it.
everybody. Welcome to Christy's Corner, where we talk about culture, conservatism, Christianity, and common sense. Hi, everybody. I forgot the microphone. I know you can hear me with my loud voice, but you won't be able to hear Troy, so microphone. Goodness gracious. How is everyone tonight? Anthony Mark is here. He stated in the comments, Troy, that he is so grateful for the last 8 days.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Oh, goodness
It's
gracious.
amazing.
It really is, isn't it? You know, I was really, oh, wait, I got to get this out of here. I was really nervous about, okay, now there might be a delay here. Let's see. Hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot the mic. Okay, am I coming in all right? Oh, not yet. Got to plug in the rest. Oh, this technology. Thank you, Nikolai Tesla. He's the one that came up with wireless. Did you know that, Troy?
Yes, honey, I did.
It's pretty cool, isn't
I mean,
it?
I think you told me.
He went nuts. He married a pigeon in his old age.
Kind of like you, huh?
Oh, let's hope I don't marry a pigeon. Oh my goodness, that would be awful.
I gotta have enough issues.
Oh, I think he was trying to make a statement or something, but maybe he fell in love with her. I don't know. Do we know if it was even a girl pigeon or a boy pigeon? I have
Okay,
no
that's
idea.
just weird.
Okay, we'll stop. All right, let me get this in here so it doesn't fall. There you go. Now you can hear Troy. All right. Hi, everybody. Caroline Levitt did a great job in the press briefing today, didn't she, though? You could tell she was a little nervous. I've had butterflies like that, and it's hard to go past them, but you just do, right? You just do. Sometimes you have to stop and get a little sip of water or something. But you know, if you pretend like you're in your living room, like we are,
Right.
then the jitters go away. But oh my gosh, was she on it or what? Where are my notes? Here they are.
Yeah, she covered it all. Kind of pulled a. She could have been signing.
Executive order.
Yeah, at the same time.
You know, somebody said she did not have a binder, so that when she walked in without a binder, everybody knew it was going to be different.
Yeah, she read a few things because she had them in front of her, so she could quote whatever particular
Precisely,
order
yeah,
specifically.
precisely.
But exactly, precisely.
With clear-cut directions.
That's right.
What is it?
She did great. I loved. There's all kinds of things. So you go ahead. We're going to stay positive, and we're not going to get off on weird topics.
But we're going to try not to.
They get us cut off.
Yeah, we're pretty sure. Let's see. The tone of the reporters was extremely negative, and they were shouting, which they only do when it's a Republican president. That is so true, Anthony. And did you notice how they were trying to do gotcha questions with basically, you're cutting off welfare, you're cutting off and it was a coincidence that the Medicaid portal went down today. But so what? Who cares? It's back up and running. And that was funny that she had to, a lot of gotcha questions. But how about the fact that they're opening up the press room to us, to what do we call ourselves? What do we call it, Anthony?
Podcasters,
content creators, anyone interested in doing the news. All you have to do, and the application is so simple. All you have to do is go to whitehouse.gov/media. And you have
new media or
new
something
media,
like that.
something like that. Be not working for any news organization. Have a podcast or some kind of media that you're talking about the news, and be able to pass a Secret Service background check.
Right. Yeah, and he's right. She did run for Congress. I think she almost won.
They said narrowly lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got on my notes so much winning.
Yeah, he said, let's get Mr. Reagan to apply.
Yes, I wondered about that. I thought about that. That was actually, Anthony, that was one of my first thoughts was we got to get Chris Cole in there and get some press pass for him. Maybe, let's see, we got.
Johanna.
Johanna. That's right. Yeah. Johanna, how are you? Welcome, honey. I'm so glad you're here. And yeah, it was a close race that Caroline Levitt lost. So was that in Florida, I assume? Is she from? No, they said Wisconsin. No, New Hampshire. It was somewhere up north. Do you remember what state, Anthony? I think it was New Hampshire or Wisconsin.
Oh, no, it was. It was like New Hampshire. I think it was New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
hi.
anyway,
New Hampshire. Sure enough, you're right.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. Oh, you got the chat over there. Good. I don't have to keep looking at the camera. Then.
well, you keep doing
Unless
that.
I'm gonna type.
I'm trying to keep up, but
You're doing great.
I could miss something.
Well, I doubt it.
It happens a lot.
So we got how many prosecutors were fired? How
Was that-
many? Oh,
I know. Well, I know there was 11. I think was that
11 or 18?
A lot of people have been getting let go, so it's hard for me to keep up.
Yeah,
with which number goes with 51 or 11 or.
And in the prosecutors that were fired, not the what was the other? I'm sorry, I didn't put that in my notes, but the other guys that were fired the other day. That was the prosecutors, and they were civil servants, so they have the right to sue. But were they not fired with pay as well as the DEI people? I believe so. So what are we talking about? So Trump comes in with the executive orders. You know that he has the mandate, that he is doing everything he can to not just keep his promises, but also do whatever forwards America's interests. Whatever pushes our interests forward.
Right.
Yeah. So he fires those. I know it was 18. I think was the first round, and then it was 11 or 12 yesterday. The other, I can't remember what it was, but the prosecutors. Did I say prosecutors 18? Anyway, I'm getting all mixed up. But
yeah, but that's a good thing.
I know, but instead of going dark, right?
No, I'm just saying it's a good thing because we can't keep up with the people that we're not paying anymore. That we're at best doing an awful job. We're not doing a job that benefits the American people.
And I think it so happens that the prosecutors that were fired yesterday were the ones that were investigating Trump illegally. The ones that were putting all the pressure on Bragg and
I think it was the.
If I can say it now, we got to be careful.
Jay Smith group.
Okay, what did we say? Read me the text.
Oh wait, sorry, I had to send that to our
See,
friend.
you already dropped the ball. It's okay. I think it was 11. So grateful Trump is trying to help California. We got to talk. I've got California on the notes. We have a solid acting attorney general. Yes. Jack Smith's team was fired. Thank you. I was going to get to that. Jack Smith. Thank you so much, Anthony. It was Jack Smith's team that was fired yesterday. The 18 folks were the other day, and they were civil servants, so that may be a deal. And I think Jack Smith's team were civil servants as well. I think they were attorneys generals that were fired. The 18 were attorneys generals, or they started with an I. And then Jack Smith's team yesterday. Let's see what we got here. Right here. No, right here.
Oh, okay, I'm back.
There you go. He's back.
I'm back with you guys.
So Jack Smith's team was fired yesterday. That is thanks for that.
And there's a lot of ins and outs about what those guys were specifically doing, where they went and worked afterwards, who they coordinated with. So in the meantime of doing all of this investigation, well, if you guys obviously aren't on my side because you went way out of the way, so I don't think you have our best interest at heart. No. Certainly not mine. So I'm not comfortable with
I think they'll be investigated.
Staff.
I think they'll be investigated for possibly breaking the law. I'm not sure.
I think there's going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of investigations, but in the meantime, stop the madness.
Right. And you can do two things at once.
That's
Caroline reminded us today and told that reporter, you can do two things at once. It's not one or the other. Okay. So the investigations, Megyn Kelly has stated many times on her broadcast that she thinks that we have to go after these people like Jack Smith's team and punish them, or this stuff is going to continue. The lawfare is going to continue. But most folks disagree with that. Most folks think that, and Trump himself has said, I really don't want to go there. We've got to stop this. It wasn't right for them to do it, and I don't want to do it. But the arguments stating that we have to do it, Megyn's side of the equation, or the argument, are stating that if we don't do it, not only will they keep doing it, but they probably broke the law, broke Civil Rights Amendment, broke the Fourth Amendment, search and seizure amendments. That's the fourth.
Well, not to mention
free speech amendment, the first.
Wasted money that the American people have put out for all these cases.
Well, that's not breaking the law, but breaking
No, I know that. But
infringing on our civil rights is
Right.
illegal. The federal government cannot infringe on our civil rights, and neither can the state government, if I am not mistaken. We absolutely are. We still on?
yeah, Anthony says he agrees with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna quit going forward.
She does a good job.
She does a great job.
Yep.
I was thinking that today that maybe she'll get a seat in one of those chairs if she wants. So wouldn't she be great? I think that'd be a step down for her, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
probably likes where she's
Mr.
at.
Reagan definitely needs to get on that application. You know what? Seb is going to make sure he gets in there. Sebastian Gorka is going to make sure.
Oh,
he
that's
gets in
true.
there. Did you
I
see
bet
his
he
post
said-
that he had just left Washington?
Who?
Mr. Reagan had just visited Washington.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I bet he got to meet the big guy, our real big guy, the real big guy,
Right.
not the big guy,
Oh, not that guy.
not that guy.
Yeah.
So, of the nominees so far that have been elected, put forward, the nominees that have been forward, who do you think is the most impactful? Who's going to be the most impactful for making America great and pushing forward our agenda? Not the safest, not make us the safest. Well, okay, you can break it down like that: safest, wealthiest, healthiest, and
Well, you could
best
break
respected.
it down a lot of ways. All of his nominees, when you look at them, are pretty well qualified and excuse me, and not necessarily the old school way of doing things. So impact wise, they're going to do great. I'm looking very forward to the next three that are coming up. So
Well, yeah, the next three. Who have we got? We've got Kash Patel. We have, oh my gosh, I went blank. JFKJ, RFKJ, Robert Kennedy Jr., and Tulsi.
and see, I'm with you on that one,
Can you read the chat,
Anthony. Yeah, he's saying he thinks deep
Can you
down,
read it out?
Anthony, I think deep down, President Trump is a forgiving person. Dr. Phil asked him to stop the lawfare during an interview last summer. And I don't think Trump, there may be a part of him that's like, this was so egregious, this has to be called out. But I think you can't not do this and clean things up. There has to be some sort. He's not filing lawsuits and stuff. He's stopping people who are not participating in what's good for the American people and wasting their money and their time and trying to mess with his agenda. So
you think he will possibly, the investigations are going to happen?
I think there's going to be investigations, if nothing else, on situations, and we know the big ones. I'm not going to say them, but there has to be some sort of investigation as to what happened during all of this. And some of it has documentation. Some of it's been torched on other ones.
Mhm.
So
That's right.
there has to be investigations. But in the meantime, you're doing this.
So who's going to be the most impactful nominee?
I'm with Anthony.
What did he say?
I'm so looking forward to see if they will approve Kash. And I'm wondering if there's some people on the right that aren't going to like that. I think Tulsi should be approved. And why wouldn't you want her in there? Because she knows it from both sides. So she left the left because of the way they were
Corruption.
conducting business.
That's
So I think she's a wonderful appointment. And then I'm looking for, I think just like I think RFK Jr. can do the same thing. It's just a different area. So I don't know if you can rate him as who's going to be the most impactful,
probably
because-
not. That's probably a dumb question.
but I'm with him. I want to see what was going on behind closed doors, and he knows how that thing is completely. He knows the weave. He knows how it's all woven together, and he knows the players in there, and he knows how it should be.
I think you're right, Anthony Mark. I think absolutely Kash Patel will have the most impact. I was kidding when I said no, you can't do that. But I do believe he will have the most impact because not only is it so important to reform the FBI, but why is it so important to reform the FBI? Because it's a domestic federal law enforcement agency that the corruption can lead to something so much worse than what we have seen. And what we have seen has not been good.
Which was already really bad.
Well, they have access to everything. domestically, right? We know the CIA. I think another thing, I think Ratcliffe is going to put the CIA, he's going to turn the eyes of Echelon and all of those listening posts, he's going to turn them back outwards instead of inwards on us.
And
so that our civil rights are not stepped on by the Patriot Act.
Right.
He's going to turn the eyes and ears of the United States back out and looking at the world, looking at the threats that are out there. What do we need to focus on? Where do we need to truly put our money?
And I'm agreeing with Anthony a lot right now.
Yeah,
it's hard not
you
to,
often
but
do.
it's
What did he
hard
say
not
now?
to.
What do we got?
So he was
Anthony
talking
in the
about.
chat.
He was talking about.
Tulsi Gabbard will be obeyed. I agree.
Because Cash could do what we were just talking about and reform it. And then he said he'd leave all this up to the new attorney general, which I believe is exactly what he's going to do, and she'll get approved.
And did you see Schumer today come out and say that his attorney general, that would be New York State Attorney General, was going to look into all this halted money, this pause on the federal money going out, and that they were going to do something about it. And I forget who it was, but Caroline Levitt or someone said, look, the New York Attorney General doesn't matter when it comes to federal money. It is the federal Attorney General that matters, and that is going to be, if she's not already nominated, Pam Bondi.
No,
did she make it already?
She hasn't been approved yet, but
she has not.
I don't think so.
5 have been approved. Who's been approved? 5 have been approved.
Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Radcliffe. Mm-hmm. Who else?
Sean Duffy got approved today.
Sean Duffy got approved today.
Yeah.
There's a couple more. But anyway.
Letitia James is awful Attorney General. Thank you. So your state, so the state Attorney General, Letitia James, is going to put a halt to the pause of the federal money that is the, what do we got? I wrote it down, you guys.
She's definitely going to want a hand in this because she's involved. I think what you were saying, though, I agree. Letting the attorney general, I think he's just waiting for these people to be approved. And in the meantime, he's like, okay, all of this is going to stop. My people will take care of it when they come in. And then I agree. I'm really looking forward to Tulsi. She's a very focused person. She's a patriot. She served, and
she's anti-corruption.
I think she's a constitutional, champion. So.
I'm not finding it, but it was, here it is. Yeah. $37 million was about to go out to the World Health Organization.
Right.
Which we have already signed that executive order took care of. We're not a part of anymore. Can you believe that we are not part of the World Health Organization anymore?
Yeah, what was she saying? Somebody else already said, well, I don't blame them. That we do need to pay we do.
The head of NATO said Trump was right. So right. Wait, you're changing subjects. So $50 million, y'all know about this one. $50 million was about or went out the door. The $37 million was about to go out the door. The $50 million went out the door for condoms and Gaza.
No, it didn't go. I don't think it went.
There's $37 million did not go.
I don't think the 50 went either.
Did. I think it did.
No, I don't believe it.
I don't think they caught it at the time.
But it was, I mean, what perfect talking points when you're doing, a press briefing.
Let me see your phone.
Y'all want to get upset because we're stopping all this stuff. Well, we just stopped these 2 things. And that's what I heard, that they had stopped that. Okay. And I didn't know. Well, you got your topic, so I'm not going to do it.
Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK are about to have not come up for a vote yet.
Right.
So they haven't voted.
I think RFK Jr.'s next. Then I think it's Tulsi and who's the other one? There's one more.
Patel.
And Cash. Yeah, so I think it's Tulsi and then Cash was in the middle at least. I don't know if that's the right order, but I think RFK Jr. is next.
Mm-hmm.
And that one could be pretty tricky, but I think he'll get approved. I don't think anyone wants to buck the president on this one. At least not from the Republicans.
Well, side. I think they're going to fight Cash is going to have a hard time. He's going to have a very hard time because he was at the center of Devin Nunes brought him in to get to the bottom of Russiagate.
Right.
But you know what's funny is now all of that is out. At least all of us know that Russiagate was a hoax.
That's true.
right? But and the 51 Intel agents have now lost their security clearance, and we have some other folks that have lost their security, personal security that we were paying for that we shouldn't have to be paying for. They're all very wealthy; they can afford their own security. So that's a whole other topic. But it also stated, Caroline also told us today, no more money. Office of Management and Budget last night said no more money for DEI, Green New Deal, transgender surgeries, or social engineering of any kind. So that means that's going to be an end to propaganda. What are you saying? Thumbs up to what we got?
Anthony was saying both measures were stopped.
Oh, both the monies were stopped. Okay, thank you.
I'm
glad to hear that. Oh my goodness, because that 50 million for Gaza.
Yeah, you're like, okay, so there's almost $100 million. Cool.
Yeah, there's 87 million right there.
First week, just saved us $100 million. 87 million.
Yeah. So one of those gotcha questions that the reporter asked was, how are contracts? So changing subjects again. Sorry about that. Back to the pause of Donald Trump stopping this federal money going out. How are contract and Caroline Levitt made it very clear over and over. She said 4 times she had to answer the question that no money's going to individuals will be stopped. So what is that telling us? All these NGOs, all these groups who've been sucking this money from the federal government in our name, and whose money is that, by the way? Oh, that's our tax dollars. That's our tax dollars going to fund these programs. And they're asking the gotcha questions. They brought up Head Start. And what was the other one? Head Start. Oh, goodness gracious. Meals on Wheels. Trying to pull your heartstrings. You know, my grandmother taught at Head Start. Now, she was definitely a bleeding heart liberal, very strong Christian, but all that side of the family, they were all beautiful liberals, but that's who they were. And she taught with Head Start. She taught piano and she taught Head Start. But anyway.
Anthony was bringing up hoping President Trump, basically he says, I hope President Trump can convince the Republican senators to vote for his nominees. I thought it was interesting that McConnell wouldn't vote for Pete Hegseth. And I'm like, if you know it's going to be approved, because JD's going to come in and approve it and get the appointment, why would you vote against it? And then I learned that he's in charge of the purse strings. He's the chairman of the
subcommittee of the Defense Department.
Right, of the Defense Finance. Yeah. So I was like,
yeah, when we heard that, the air just sucked out of the room, didn't it?
Yeah, we were all excited. And we were like, that's different. Okay, but whatever the case may be.
And Tom Cotton now is in charge of, what did he get nominated for? Intelligence, the Senate Committee on Intelligence. So
who?
Tom Cotton from here, from our state. He got nominated as the Senate chair on intelligence. So I think he's one of the good guys. I really do. I trust him. I don't trust any of them for being perfect. None of them are going to be perfect. Of course, I think President Trump's about as close to perfect as you can get, at least in his later years. But even he made some big whopper mistakes too. We are all sinners and fall short of the glory of God. But for looking more is all that, but
yeah, and you benefit of the doubt, but it's kind of trust but verify. You're like, okay, you know what? But now it's like, don't trust but verify. Okay,
I wanted to bring up another point that she had so many good
points. Let me read.
Oh, go ahead, please. Chat. Okay, for the listening audience that can't see the chat, that's why we're reading the chats out loud. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
engage you guys.
And
Johanna, say something.
I would be jump in. Send us a baby picture.
She's talking now.
Any issue really. I would love to see Anthony mention there's a Doge counter. And I would love to know if you could maybe put that in the chat or whatever, because I've been thinking about that in my head. I'm like, we've got a debt counter. Why can't we just get a Doge counter? And,
a debt clock, yeah, let's get a Doge clock. Yeah. Oh, awesome, Anthony. That is so good to hear. I think I heard about that. I like Senator Tom Cotton. I like that idea of a Doge counter and how much money we're saving. So speaking along those lines, Caroline brought up that during the Biden administration, our cost per family, with all of the extra spending that they did, went up to $55,000 per family.
No, don't doubt that at
Yeah,
all.
that may be per household.
I don't want to jump topics here.
Oh,
but,
excuse me.
you
That
know,
was just because of regulation. So there's other spending that I heard it was like 100,000. It's at least 55,000.
It just makes me think of eggs, Christy.
Eggs. They were talking about,
That was
it's
so
funny.
I'm so glad that she's like, I'm so glad you brought that up. Because we've been watching like just little clips, and I'm like, why all of a sudden are they talking about eggs? Eggs is their fault.
Yep.
And they're like, well, we don't see prices coming down, and we're like, it's Friday.
5 days. 7 days. Oh my gosh. It has been 7 days. Shelby wants something. She is fussing out there.
Anthony likes Tom Cotton. He says he's outstanding. And
yeah.
He kind of liked my thought on Senator McConnell. Which I'd rather just not think about, to be honest with you, because
I'll tell you what troubles me about Mitch McConnell is those times that we've seen him freeze when he's being interviewed and talking on to the public. His health is not good. His health is obviously, something's wrong. He's either had a stroke or he's having mini strokes or something, because you don't just freeze like that for a good 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then come back around. That means your brain's not working right. And I worry about his health. I don't wish anyone poor health, anyone at all, not my enemies, not my friend. I don't wish poor health on anyone. Health is such a big deal. And it's hard to stay healthy. You have to eat right.
Okay. So the Doge clock is right there with the U.S. debt clock.
Oh, awesome. We got to go check it out online. So that means it's right there on the website. So,
absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm going to stay in this, but I want to just
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And we love Tom Cotton. Christy just sent me a picture
Our
that
other
we got.
senator,
That we got. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the other guy. As a matter of fact, you just don't hear from him. And when you watch his ads, they're the typical political, and you never see him. You just don't see him. I think he's my opinion is he's establishment right.
A little bit of a rhino.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you're like, okay, why did you vote on that? Most of the time, but you have people that are like, they voted with this president and whatever. But
nobody cares.
I just like the way Tom Cotton is ready to get in there and scrap and talk about it.
Exactly, that's what we like about him.
And it's more than willing to have a cogent discussion with somebody.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me ask you guys this: how do you feel about putting an Iron Dome in America, like Israel has? I think it's a phenomenal idea. I am so okay with this. Why we haven't done it sooner?
I got to get back because Anthony made a request. So
okay.
I didn't read that right. He said, please visit the Doge clock, which is with the debt counter.
Absolutely, we will. Absolutely, we will. I know that's like debtclock.org.
Debt clock
isn't
website,
.org?
which now has the Doge counter. That is awesome.
And the website's debtclock.org, isn't it?
I don't know.
Okay, I think so.
He probably knows because I think he's been there.
No, it's a website.
I know. Anthony probably knows.
Been there meaning to the website. Yeah, you're probably right.
I didn't want to look, so I mean, they occasionally flash it up on the news every once in a while, and I'm like, oh.
So we saw not Selena Gomez. What's her name?
I don't even know who this crying person is.
Yeah.
But,
so we saw this actress who's worth $250 million, according to one of the websites that does that, crying her eyes out about sending illegal immigrants back to their home countries. And I
don't know what she said, to be honest with you.
It was kind of hard to take. It was kind of hard to tell. So are we still on?
Yep, okay. I think so.
So
wait.
We might not be. Oh, shucks. We ran out of Wi-Fi.
Wait, we're back.
We're back. We didn't go anywhere. Yay! So I figured out what's going on with the Wi-Fi. And Anthony, I did a little more research about our Wi-Fi. We got the satellite up on the roof. Yes, I'm changing topics again. And that part's working great, but my output is too low. Input is high. It was at 50 this morning, and it's at around 14 or 15 in the evening. But output is
No, we
too
might
low.
have to move this.
Well, we might.
At some
Yeah,
point.
so I put in before we do get cut off or run out of Wi-Fi, I put in the community notes. I'm thinking about moving the show to 5 o'clock Central. Would you guys be available 5 o'clock Central?
Or maybe the weekend. I don't know, but it needs to be. I think it needs to be off prime time.
Well, I thought Tuesday night was as off prime time as I could get. I was trying to get it off prime time, thinking about that, but not really. Okay, Doge has saved $31 billion as of now. Wow. So that was
Wow.
that was 80 million that we talked about, that she talked about this morning, but it is 30. Let's see. Selena Gomez, 1.3 billion. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, he was saying
1.3.
Reagan came up with the idea for the Iron Dome in '86.
Yes, Star Wars. Absolutely.
Yep,
And I was
Star
for
Wars.
it back then. I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I was so terrified of nuclear war in the 80s. My goodness gracious, all of us were. That movie, The Day After, it terrified us. But anyway, back to the Iron Dome and Selena Gomez. So the Iron Dome, I'm for it. I'm 100% for it. And I'll talk more about that in another show. The 1.3 billion that Selena has, and she's crying these big crocodile tears because she doesn't know what to tell the kids because they don't understand.
Christy had an idea for her.
Open some freaking centers. Go adopt some children. Open some centers down there and teach them about freedom and why it's not okay to break another country's laws. I would love to go to Switzerland and just move in.
It's such an uninformed.
Guess what? Switzerland won't let me. And I have a cousin that lives there. I would have to have a job. I could actually immigrate over there, but I would have to have a job before I went. And Cheryl would have to write a letter to the government that I would be living at her place.
Everybody else
Cetera,
has
cetera.
rules.
Yeah, why can't we?
It's
Well, we know
crazy.
why. We know exactly why.
Yeah, we pretty much know what happened. But
And another thing I want to say about Selena Gomez, is it Selena? Have I got it right?
whatever.
Yes, Selena. Another thing about her that really upset me and a lot of other commenters out there, and that was that she's going to cry these crocodile tears against Trump and the moves that he's making.
But what about
the 300,000? And we
Right.
can't talk about that.
right?
We cannot talk about that.
But we did hear that they
found a bunch.
a bunch,
Yes.
and we'll leave it at that.
And we'll leave it at that. So hopefully we won't get cut off.
I think that's where we got in hot water last time.
Yes. And then the NATO, what you were talking about with the NATO was one of those gotcha questions circling back around to the reporters and back to the press conference. We've reestablished with Colombia doing what they did. So if you haven't heard, we had a plane full of illegal immigrants headed back to Colombia that were from there. And Colombia's president said, no, we're not taking them. We're not going to take them back. What are you doing? And Donald Trump on the golf course between the 8th and 9th hole said, really? Fine. We'll put a 25% tariff on your coffee, actually 25% tariff and whatever else he threatened. And within an hour and a half, the president of Colombia said, oh, it's okay. Go ahead, turn them around. As a matter of fact, they were going to be loaded in. I guess they weren't in the air. I guess they were on the C-130.
I don't know what
He said he was in his personal plane.
Yeah, they're even. You're starting to hear now that they're going to do the transporting, and I'm like, really? We don't have to pay for the fuel for the personnel? Excellent.
Yeah,
I'd like to participate in this.
But President Trump said something good in the news conference yesterday when he said, did you see the movie Con Air? So can you imagine being the pilot with all those criminals? Because we're talking bad. These are the worst first.
Right.
The worst of them all first, which makes me think about the women that were in the roundup. I'm like, what do they do? They're probably traffickers of some sort. I don't know. But anyway, the worst first. Oh yes, I can be available 5 p.m. Syndrome. I can do Friday nights too. Awesome. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you so much. And where's G.I. Jose? He's not here tonight. I hope he's okay.
Slacker.
I might move it to 5 on Tuesdays and then maybe Fridays. We'll see.
It's your rodeo, honey.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. I keep forgetting it's my rodeo. I love how Caroline also said, back to the money, the pause that the OMB, the memo that went out last night, that we're pausing all this free flow of money just going all over the place with no accountability until Doge can take a look at it and figure out what's going on.
I was wondering when the NGO thing came up, I was like, go for it. I was thinking, oh, please go for it.
Well, I love what she said. Not only was the Trump administration, was Donald Trump elected to put forward this agenda that he has campaigned on this entire 8 years. Not only was he elected to put forth this agenda, but also she brought up, we also have to be good stewards of your money.
Right.
How many politicians talk about that? How many press secretaries say that from the podium? I think Sarah Huckabee might have said it. Who's our governor?
Yeah, Chrissy, I lost my phone and Chrissy was texting me pictures. And I'm like, is that Sarah? I'm like, we were fortunate enough to get
She
the
came
meter.
to town and we got the meter.
And all I said was, please don't turn on us.
She laughed.
It's
Her
just
husband
so
laughed.
laughing.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
I just
Oh,
got a
5 p.m.
notification for Samsung account legal terms.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't think so.
Don't think so. But that'd be this way on the camera. It'd be the opposite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So what else you got there?
Temporary pause. So how are the contractors going to know? Like the people who have Head Start and the people who are doing Meals on Wheels and whatever else, all these other programs, how are they going to know if the money is dried up or not? And they kept hammering
Right.
Caroline with that. And she was like, look, memo came out last night. Let us figure out what's going on. And you guys basically
I'll get back
back
to you.
off.
Which is funny because that was
And
like
that's
the
what she
only
said, we had to be good stewards.
that
I
was
think.
like the only thing that she said I'll get back to you on, and everything else she had an answer for, which I almost just fell over watching this because it was such a shocking experience. It didn't really shock me that she would do it, but after what we've been through for 4 years, hearing people dodge questions, and
That leads into my next topic.
well, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Seek Miller said, advocating on behalf of the president, will you tell the truth from the podium? And he obviously that was not a gotcha question. I think he was giving her the opportunity. Thanks. You can check on them.
No.
I think he was giving her the opportunity to say, you know what? Thanks for that question. I think she even thanked him for the question. Yes, you'll get the truth from President Trump. He's been the most transparent president we've ever had in this country. And not only will you get the truth from him and access often, but you will always get the truth from me.
Right.
However, we know that you guys in the media have been pushing a whole lot of untruths, and we're going to call you out now.
Yep.
We're going to hold you
That was
responsible.
cool.
That was amazing.
We're not going to get bludgeoned up here with BS.
Exactly right.
I thought that was really nice.
That was so cool. Okay, that was that one.
And then reinstating, the 440 different news people that were canceled and not allowed.
Yes, gave them their press passes back.
She's like, we're giving them back. We know why they got canceled.
Mm-hmm. Because they asked questions that the past administration did not want. Young folks do not trust the MSN. That's why we were talking about earlier about the alternative media. That's what I was trying to come up with earlier. So we've already talked about that. 440 press passes right there, baby.
Yep.
Well, and they talked about the drones at the end.
Which is what I figured.
Yeah. So Anthony, you said they were nothing to worry about. You were right. I was wrong.
Well,
I
knew
was worried.
the way she said it was they had FAA approval, which means the government knew what was going on, and they just weren't telling us. You just wonder if it wasn't like, oh, we're just practicing a grid or something like that.
And now I think they would. I think very possibly 90% sure that if it had been the enemy, they would have told us today. So that was
but
the
to
main
look back
point,
at what they were saying,
which is the one thing I was truly worried about. I was not worried about aliens. I was not worried about. I wasn't really worried about spying, but I was worried about the enemy possibly trying to do an attack in between. It started November 18th.
It just seemed like a practice run to me.
Well, a practice run makes it even scarier.
Well, and then once you start seeing them, then everybody piles on,
saying.
And you get all these other people like, well, I'm going to fly my drone.
Yeah, she said, and then the hobbyists. There was some were hobbyists, and then they really filled up because the hobbyists got more and more curious. I know that was cool. Oh, I bet we can't talk about this on
Probably
YouTube.
not, but I know exactly where your brain went.
Two genders.
No, I thought it was going to Billy Crumb show.
What part?
The one we were watching with all the robot stuff.
The robot stuff. I don't remember. Should we not talk about it?
I don't know, but probably not. So move on.
Okay, moving on.
I knew this was coming, guys. That was a high blood push.
And can you hear the train? Can y'all hear the train in the background? We live on the train tracks. I'm not going to go through who ICE arrested, but on January 23rd. But if y'all saw the press conference, you can sleep a little better tonight, folks in New York and St. Paul, Minnesota, and Boston and Buffalo and San Francisco and New York. They arrested some really
They're starting
bad
to get
guys.
on board, and the people are watching. I think they're having to get on board.
And on the executive order, she reminded us that on day one they ended catch and release.
Right.
Amazing. We're safer, guys. We're just flat out safer tonight than we were in the last 4 years.
I was talking to Christy. I'm like, how would you like that knock on the door? With all
wait,
those
say
different
that first.
you
got to say, what if you were an illegal immigrant, especially one who committed a crime? Now say it.
All those letters?
Yes, of course.
And the FBI, DEA, ATF, and HSI, and every letter ICE, all of them are there.
All of them.
And you're
No,
like, okay, just don't move. Don't move.
And when he was saying, how would you like to be that person? I went. So, all right. Well, that's my notes. How's your sugar?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my thing here. Hang on.
Awesome. He's adjusting his sugar, you guys. Actually,
Sorry, guys.
that's his portable pancreas. Is what I call
That's
it.
right.
The insulin pump.
I call it my ball and chain. Because you
Yeah,
are not.
I'm not a ball and chain.
No.
Good. I didn't. That's exactly the look I was going for.
You're
To
more
not
like
be
a
a ball
record
and
than I'm
chain.
hanging on to.
Hang on tight, baby. Here we go.
I'm
Yeah,
doing
Anthony reminded us that he had a source of a pilot, so he knew the drones were okay. And I got that, and I'm so glad. And now I know I can trust you even more. It's just awesome. It's awesome.
Because that's where we live.
Yeah, I tend to go towards conspiracy theories, and I tell you guys, it's not really conspiracy theories. Where my mind goes is the Bible. And oh boy, I found a way to bring it, didn't I?
What?
The Bible.
Yes.
The reason I entertain most conspiracy theories and at least give them a look-see, and investigate a little bit, because if there's anything really interesting, I'm like, okay, how does this fit in with scripture,
Right.
and prophecy?
And boy, can you fit it in right now.
Just a bit.
Yeah, that's we do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
But I'm gonna save all my Bible talk for a different show. I'm gonna keep this one on Tuesday nights. It's gonna stay Christy's Corner, culture with a Christian perspective, conservatism, Christianity, common sense. But I'm gonna start another channel or another show, probably same channel, another show that I'll do Bible prophecy and stuff on. So I got to 50 subscribers. Yay! Thank everybody that helped. Thank you so much. You guys so rock. I say that every week. I'm gonna probably forget to start saying it, but I'm so grateful. So at 50 subscribers, I think what happens is I can now broadcast through broadcast software. And I have OBS, Open Broadcast Studio, and it took me forever to figure it out, guys, but I think I have it figured out now. Now the next question is, do I have enough Wi-Fi to push it out? I may not. But I can record the video, and now I can have slides and music and script and video of me. And not everybody has to have that by any means. But
no, but she's been working on it. There's no history here, so she's trying to learn the software. I can say this: in our, what is it now, 28 years?
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
Plus,
We're at 7:15.
I've learned a tremendous amount of stuff from Christy's Bible knowledge. I actually walked into a room the other day and they were having a Bible study. And this guy was going on, and I was like, he goes, and that's the way I see it. And I'm like, I'm with him. But whereas before I wouldn't really know what he was talking about. But Christy does a real good job of delivering the information, answering some questions if she knows, but doing it as that's the way I see it. You have to make your own call, but tying a lot of things in together. So not to make you sit there and listen to all this, but
Oh, that's okay.
but she ran a Bible study at her house for ladies.
Our house.
What
You
did I
said
say?
her house.
All right, yeah. Well, I got kicked out because it was a
Oh,
ladies'
that's
Bible
true. That's
study,
true.
so
Yeah.
it was her house. It's really her house anyway. So.
On Wednesdays at 6,
Yeah.
it was my house.
But to watch her engage with people from all different kinds of backgrounds and be able to keep them engaged with a topic like the Bible was really wonderful to hear, and then hear their feedback afterwards. So it was.
I had a good Bible for that, a good study Bible. It was a women's study Bible, and it had current event topics, not current event, topics that matched what's going on today. So there were questions.
But always having, matching scripture with scripture and
Scripture interpreting scripture.
yeah, and making sure you're using the context and the content of where something's said, not just pulling it out of a hat and saying, well, this is what that says. And this, in general, and if she doesn't know, she'll be like, we're going to find out, and she will find out. So anyway, I'll shut up now.
It's okay. I'm going to say one more thing about that along those lines is one of the reasons I like to say this whenever I get a chance, because I encourage anyone out there who's listening to this show or watching to look at this for yourself. And that is the reason I'm a Christian is MAPS. M for manuscript evidence, A for archaeological proof, P for prophecy fulfilled, and S for scripture interpreting scripture. MAPS. Manuscript, archaeology, prophecy, scripture. So,
or you could do it the other way, and it would be spam.
It would.
I'm just.
Oh my goodness gracious!
It was a
Your little brain doesn't work that way. So
I get a lot of stuff back. Anthony said, "Congratulations on the plateau."
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It's a milestone for sure. Tell your friends, like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. We are at 7:17, and we're going to keep going. But don't be surprised if we just cut out again like usual, because now that I know it's a Wi-Fi bandwidth situation, then it's going to let me use as much as I've got, and then it's going to just kick us out. So it's probably not what we were saying as much as it was bandwidth.
Yeah.
Now, last week we did get kicked out under a certain very bad topic that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, but there's so much good stuff to talk about right now, and it's just, I mean, it's been a week,
7 days. I mean, Monday to Monday, and today's Tuesday.
It's actually
it's 6.5 days.
Actually, it's 7.5 days now.
6.5.
7.5.
Well, Monday was only at noon.
Well, we can do the math, and it's like 7 and whatever.
It was a half a day Monday. That's half.
Right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, you're counting the weekend. I was not counting the weekend.
Well, he was busy.
I guess I need to count the weekend.
He was busy. And I could hear him talking to the guy on Columbia, somewhere in
Especially when he's working on Sunday.
On that call from the guy from Columbia, I was thinking the guy was like, "Oh, really? You're not? Go ahead, sink yours."
I think just said.
That's right. You go.
It's a
go
2-foot putt. Hang
That's
on.
right. Make your putt.
Yeah, foot putt.
Yeah.
I miss playing golf. Does anybody out there play golf? We used to play together. Now that I have my new knee, I'm looking forward to getting out there, but I got to stay out of the sun and really lather on the sunscreen this year.
Yep.
Because I've got the squamous cell skin cancer on my face.
Yeah.
And probably on my legs too.
She's a good golfer.
Not really.
Yeah,
No,
it's relative.
I am not about like chess. Sometimes I can play.
You're good. You're a good scramble partner.
I'm a good scramble golfer.
She makes amazing shots and
then a whole bunch of bad shots.
They're not consistent.
And they're not consistent. That's exactly right. I don't play near enough.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll be at the tee and I'll be like, holy mackerel.
Whack that one. And it went straight.
Yep.
And then the next 10 are awful.
She's hilarious to watch when she makes good shots, though, because she gets all excited.
What else do you want to talk about tonight, honey? So what an amazing 7.5 days we have experienced. I think we decided that Mr. Reagan absolutely has to apply for a press pass. Let's bombard him on Twitter, on X.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And on his YouTube channel. Get in there and put some notes in there. Jason and I in our show. Jason's got some health issues he's dealing with. Not a big deal. He's announced him on Toxic Masculinity before. So I'm not sure when we're going to do the show, but I have my part all ready to go. And
he had a lot of stuff ready too.
He's pretty close to ready. I think it's just a question of busy and coordination. He built himself a new computer, and it is amazing.
It's all neon and everything.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Looks like a gamer PC.
Does, doesn't it? Yeah. We're not gamers. We probably should be, but now we wouldn't be able to.
We watched Pixels. We watched Pixels the other night. That was the
Pixels?
kind of gamer I was. I was having to explain. No, that's Gallagher. That's Astro.
Yeah, I didn't play
that's
video
Defender.
games.
She's like, I know that one. That's Joust.
I did play Joust. I do the Joust birds. So Pixels, the movie with Adam Sandler. Has anybody seen that? It's really a very good movie. Yeah. I was surprised. Yeah. I didn't watch it for a long time because I wouldn't even know what the games were.
It was a good fun. It was a good fun movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And here's our kitty cat. This is our old girl. She is 19 this year, 18.
She's old. That's Bandit.
She's our old girl. This is Bandit.
She came with a little gray cat that we don't have anymore, but that was Smokey and the Bandit, Christy named it.
Yeah, Smokey. Smokey's hair was a color of mine.
What are you doing?
That's her daddy. She's a daddy's girl.
She likes to rub my head.
She's a daddy's girl. Well, all right. Do you want to pray or do you want to keep going? Let's keep going. We've got the Wi-Fi.
Well, we could be wearing Anthony out. He's.
I don't know. Well, Johanna, do you have time to put something in the chat? What's up, girl?
Yeah, where's Joe? Anthony always uses sunscreen.
Oh, good for you. Do you golf too? No. Good for you. That does not surprise me. Anthony's a rule follower. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the rules that I don't follow like I should. You know what else I don't do is sunglasses out in bright sun. I got blue eyes and I cannot see. I'm a little bit night blind.
He says I love all cat related content.
Oh, cool. We'll talk about kitty cats. Her little fur.
Anthony, we used to have one that was a Maine Coon.
Oh, Jack was huge.
He was kind of crazy. But
he
would literally stand over his bowl and he would eat like this.
Yep.
He was ambidextrous, and he would scoop and then he'd scoop and eat it. And I had it on video before, but it was just
and he
priceless.
did it with the water too.
He'd just look up at you like, what? I mean, he was a trip, but he was huge. He was huge.
Yeah, his paw on my hand was like that big.
No, it was bigger than that.
I'm talking about wide. It was,
it was
wide.
Like that wide.
How? Yeah, what did I say? Okay, like that.
He was Maine Coon, big old ears.
Wow, Anthony's cat used to do that too. Eat with his paw.
Really?
Was it a Maine Coon, or do you know? Was it a tabby? And with long hair and the really sharp ears.
I had one of my friends was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" You know,
he looked so much like a bobcat. He looked just like a bobcat. He really did.
Yep.
The little tuft on the end of his ears.
When you see the bobcat emblem for equipment,
yeah.
If you just looked at him sideways, that's what he looked like.
Yep. Yeah. He was a tabby, so he might have been had a little bit of Maine Coon in him. They came from Norwegia.
Norwegia.
I didn't say that right, did I? How about Norway? How about Norway? It came from Norway. They were at least double coated, if not triple coated. I think they have triple coats. Yeah. And they're one of the only cats that likes to swim. He used to do the pawing with water as well.
Yeah, he would do it too, but he struggled a little bit with that. He's like, this is taking longer.
Yeah, but that's what he ended up doing, was drinking too much water.
Yeah. Anyway, we've had two Persians, brother and sister, and usually we get them. I mean, I just like cats. I can leave town for 3 days, 5 days, and they're okay.
Not 5.
I could. You wouldn't, but I could.
I wouldn't.
I'd be like, y'all got enough food.
Here's an extra litter box.
That's right. Here's some water. Go for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're dragging on.
I'm having a good time.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
People can click off.
All right. So what else would you like to talk about, honey?
Well, let's ask Anthony. So the press conference was phenomenal. Did I miss anything in the press conference that stood out to you, Anthony? I'm thinking, trying to remember the whole show. Oh, did you see that Christy Nome was on, gave a press?
She was approved.
Yes, she was approved. She was on, he said it earlier.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
Well, she gave a briefing today. And what did she get up at 2:00 in the morning, was on the raid at 3 a.m. in New York in her gear.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, she's pretty. She's a very pretty lady. And she was in her gear at 3 a.m. doing the press briefing at 4 in the afternoon, whenever it was. And now she's going to be on Hannity tonight.
Oh, really?
That's a long day. You know what, though, y'all? She gave a little bit of background. 15 miles from you. Wow. Wow, Anthony. Wow, that blows my mind. That means those bad guys were 15 miles from you. Oh, my gosh.
It also means they're hitting the ground.
Well, you remember you said in a show earlier, Anthony, that you do not go out at night anymore.
Right.
That it's just not safe anymore. We were talking about Dana Perino talking on one of, she didn't say it straight up, but she did say the words, things have changed, on her walk for lunch. And that would have been between her 9 o'clock show and the show, The 5. And things have definitely changed. She was getting irritated and scared. Kind of had a little fear.
And that goes back a couple of years, 2 or 3 years when they were really highlighting that. They went through a period where they were really talking about how dangerous they thought it was out there. And it only takes one. It just takes one time.
The Laken Riley bill passed. Another very big plus.
Yeah, not sure who it was that voted against that. How can you? But okay.
It didn't pass before. And we didn't have the majority. It didn't pass.
That's crazy.
And Laken Riley would have been alive because that was an illegal immigrant who had been busted before, sent back, came back in, and killed her. And had Remain in Mexico been enforced, or several other laws that are on the books, if we had enforced the law that was on the books, she'd be alive. But you're right, we're not going to go negative. So speaking of kitty cats, my dogs are barking.
He said I can confirm that Dana Perino on 48th and 6th can be unsafe.
Oh, that's where Fox News is, 48th and 6th. Wow.
And he's grateful it passed.
Yeah,
I had to type that in just so I could get above this little heart thing. So I could read what you were saying.
For sure. Yeah, I'm grateful it passed too. We've got so much to be grateful for. No matter where you're at with Bible prophecy, or remember in 2012 when everyone was talking about the Mayan prophecy and that the world was coming to an end? I had a big surgery scheduled December 21st, 2012. The day the world was supposed to come to an end. And so Troy was in the hospital waiting on me, and I was knocked out. And that was an 8-hour surgery. 8 hours.
She also made us buy a house, our first house after we got married.
Because of September
1999. Yep. And then when 9/11 hit, I think I can say that. I don't know why I couldn't.
No.
And she was working out at the airport.
Right.
At IAH. So
Houston Intercontinental Airport.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been in some interesting spots when things have happened.
Yeah, and Anthony, where were you, darling? Where were you on 9/11? You were probably in New York.
Yeah,
gosh, I don't know if that's a bad question. If you don't want to answer that in the chat, don't. Direct message me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were at the air. I worked. I was not on the tarmac at that job. I have worked on the tarmac before, but at that job, we were about 1.5 miles away from the airport. And when they grounded all the planes, at the time I smoked cigarettes, and me and a coworker went out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're just looking up at the sky going, this is so weird. Because we were used to just millions of planes.
They would have them, 5 in a row flying in.
And then when the thing happened in 2020 that shook the world up, the skies went empty again.
He was at his dentist in Brooklyn. It was grateful. Yeah, I remember when we came back from our trip, our recent trip, and we were at Newark Airport, and whatever it's called, and looking across at at the skyline, I'm like, could you imagine being here? Because you saw all the different shots of what was happening. But anyway,
Yeah. Do you like the Freedom Tower, Anthony? Do you like it how it added to the skyline? I like it. You know what? I have a little bit of trouble with the two reflecting pools that they left for the skyscrapers, the twin towers. There's two huge reflecting pools that were the footprints of the.
Yeah, because you want.
And when you go in person, it's different than seeing it on TV. It's really like oh.
Well, that could just be a spiritual thing, if you to be honest with you.
Maybe so. But I felt so I've traveled a lot, you guys, and some of it with my work, and I've just been very blessed. But I also have been to London, and in London you see where
he said it's nice.
It's pretty, yeah. Okay, that's good. You're a New Yorker, and I'm glad.
Still, though, when you flash back and you see, movies like, that used to have them in the background. I think it's maybe like Taxi or
lots of movies.
Taxi, I think, has them in the background.
Independence Day, I think.
Yeah, and some of them that actually scrubbed it. I'm like, you can't scrub that.
No, don't scrub it. No.
Anyway, enough of that. That's not a topic we're going down.
Well, I was just gonna say, in London, you see the old buildings, and then the building went up. But they have the old building right next to the new building, and it's so stark.
Yeah, that's
did you see that?
That's what. I saw some.
You saw that? Yeah.
Where the green people were throwing green paint. I noticed that.
Coyote Ugly has. Did you watch Yellowstone? Didn't you? I think you did, right, Anthony? That girl was the bartender in Coyote Ugly.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
I didn't
That's
see
where I
Coyote
knew
Ugly.
it from. Yeah, I don't know.
You're the one who told me.
I bartended a long time ago. It might have been.
He was one of those spinners.
I was never a spinner.
You were never a spinner?
No, but
what do you call it?
We were voted best bartenders in Houston, so
you had to be one of those spinners.
but there was a lot of reasons. So anyway, what I was gonna say was, dadgummit, I forgot. Okay, keep moving.
Coyote Ugly, Yellowstone, bartending, spinners. Coyote Ugly was a bartender.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Not
just keep moving, and if I remember it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't miss those days. I will say that.
Yeah.
Glad I got out of that business.
If a drink, I used to drink beer and wine, and that was it. If I drank hard liquor, I had a hard time, so I just didn't drink it. But so I don't know what drinks are. Cocktails. I don't know what any of them are. And champagne. But so whenever a cocktail comes up on TV or on a movie or something, I'm like, Troy, what is that?
Yeah.
What's in the grasshopper?
Particularly, like, of course, nowadays.
He knows them all.
Nowadays, from when I quit drinking, I'm like, oh, that actually looks like, that's interesting that they made that. But most of the bottles, I don't have to see the label. And,
you know what it is.
Just because I was around them so long and did so much inventory. And, I mean, it was just a habit you weren't looking to read a bottle, you just grab them. But now they got so many different kinds that, but that's not my world anymore. So.
No, definitely not. No, but it is interesting. People ask you what something is, and you know what it is. It's pretty cool.
That's right, grasshopper.
Well, what else are we going to talk about? Because otherwise, we're running out of things to talk about. Unless I go to the Bible, and then I can talk about that all night long. Not a problem. So I guess we'll wrap it up at 7:34. We had enough. Maybe it's because I have.
He says he likes the survivor tree.
Say it again.
Yeah, he said he's visited the reflecting pools, but he likes seeing the survivor tree.
Oh, I don't know if that was there yet.
I think it was there from
the time they did the pools.
It made it.
Because so I was there in 2006, so the pools weren't there yet. So I was at the holes.
Really?
Yes, I think so.
No,
I was there in 2006, so I think Anthony would know for sure. But in 2006, I'm pretty sure we didn't have the reflecting pools yet, that the holes were there and the reflecting pools were coming. Or the reflecting pools were there and it still just upset me. And I know I was very upset when I went to the site.
I don't see how you couldn't.
No, how could you not?
How do you see that?
I guess it affected my memory a little bit.
what happened. So
It seems like I remember the pool being there, but I don't remember the reflection.
I know what
I don't remember the survivor's tree.
You were talking about the buildings next
That's
to
a
each
shame because
other.
I'd love to see that.
I had a friend that was from Wales, and we would carpool and we would talk. And I don't know what we were talking about. And he was talking about, I miss my country. He said, you people have no architecture whatsoever here.
He's right.
It's like everything's like what's the oldest? 300-400 years.
Our churches are pretty. We have some very pretty old churches.
You don't look back, like that was one of the things that was really moving, that church that we went to in Edinburgh.
St. James. No, St. Giles.
St. Giles. Yeah.
St. Giles.
That was real, to see all
2012. So it was holes. It was not, the reflecting pools were not there yet. So
Really?
I wouldn't have seen the tree. And I guess when I was talking earlier about the pools really upset me, it was the holes that upset me.
Right.
I misspoke. So
I didn't know it took that long to get those.
Well, I'm not surprised because it did take a long time.
Of course, you do have regulations, and which we don't have as much
And Trump
anymore.
wasn't building it.
He was. That's right.
He was in Florida. No, he was still in New York.
It was called the ice rink guy.
Yeah. He'd be up in no time.
All right.
Right. In 2006, the memorial was not done yet. Yeah, so it wasn't the reflecting pool. Summer Heights was played by Piper Perabo in Yellowstone. Yep. Yeah, that's her. Piper. Yeah, so it wasn't the water that upset me. It was the holes, which makes more sense too. And when I was there, now this is for sure, I'm not remembering this wrong. They had a chain link fence up in front of the holes, and all over the chain link fence were pictures.
More photos.
Yeah, right. of everything that had happened, and it was the 5-year anniversary, but we didn't go to the celebration because I was with Deborah, my friend, traveling with her.
And then y'all went upstate.
And we went upstate to see her family.
Right.
And Troy didn't go on that trip.
Nope.
It's too bad.
No, I was probably watching Cats.
Cats? Oh, Cats.
Yeah.
Real Cats, not the movie Cats.
Those Cats.
Or not the play or whatever, the musical. Correct. It was a construction site in 2006. Yep. Yeah, and we went up on it, and it was very disturbing. Oh, my gosh. Well, that whole thing was so disturbing. I was listening to Tucker's interview of Matt Taibbi today, and that was pretty good. And
Matt's so great.
He's pretty amazing.
That's who needs to be in the White House. Press briefing room.
Yeah,
Matt of all people.
It might be a step down for him too, though. He's so well read on Substack. He's famous now.
Yeah, but why not?
He was pretty famous when he was.
Why not
Rolling
encourage
Stone.
people? I mean, the opportunity that people have right now to do solid investigative reporting and come back to true journalism is astounding. If they could just wipe the BS out of all of the, I love the way you were talking about it earlier, where Caroline Levitt said, look, if they've broken the law, then they're on the table. And I realize that doesn't mix with the culture that y'all are used to, but it's the law. And it's that culture that you're used to that is starting to, I'd like to say slowly, but it's kind of quickly unravel.
Oh, and I think it's going to speed up even faster.
Yes, he is. Matt is a brave gentleman.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. So about Matt Taibbi, what was I going to say? What were we talking about right before that?
Tucker and Matt.
Yeah, what were we talking about right before that? Because it was along those lines. Whatever we were talking about. The construction zone, memorial.
I the heck don't know. I'm no help here.
Golly.
Yeah.
I lost it. But it was a really good interview. If you can catch it, it's on YouTube. You can catch it on YouTube on Tucker's channel. I can't remember. It was something special.
There was a lot of stuff in there that.
Well, he was talking about journalism too, and making a comeback that now is the time. If you're going to be a journalist, now is the time. I don't know if he said that topic, but
I mean, it's literally almost a clean slate. Look.
Oh, I know what it was. I got it.
You can be a journalist, and it takes very little to go apply to be able to be in the White House press.
And it takes even less to start a YouTube channel.
That's right. And not to mention the environment that, with a little bit of backing and some hard work, someone can easily shoot to the top. You know, you just
Absolutely.
make a few contacts,
Well, we
make a
need
few.
truth chasers. We don't
Yep.
care if we make it to the top or not. It's about chasing the truth and sharing it and putting an end to all this silly propaganda and raising our children with lies. We have to stop that.
And what's really,
the truth will set you free.
if I look
It will
at,
make you mad, but it will set you free.
and then all of this stuff that I've been looking at, lots of different races and backgrounds, and they're all like, they were all leading up to the election and stuff like that. So it's not like there's some kind of color barrier or something like that. It's just about content.
So what I was going to say that Tucker and Matt were talking about, Tucker could not believe 9/11 happened. He was shocked that 9/11 happened. We're still there? Are we gone?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep. I think. Are we back?
I don't know. Anthony, are we still on?
Wait,
Troy's phone's acting weird.
move for us. Right there.
Yep. Okay. Still here, he said. So that's your phone. Okay,
Oh.
Still here. Awesome. So let me wrap it up real quick because I think we will run out of Wi-Fi here pretty quick. But anyway, Tucker couldn't believe that it had happened, and he thought that journalism and the news organizations had done a really bad job of not preparing America for what was happening out in the world, that the buildup to September of that year. And he was kind of asking the question, did I drop the ball? Right? And I remember at the time, loud and clear, awesome. At the time, not what happened, but within 3 years, I started seeing the truth, the 9/11 truthers and all that came out. And it come to find out, a lot of people did know what was going on in the world and how the threats were building and coming. And I won't get into any of the CTs about that, but because that's just too heartbreaking to even think about that. But that we need to be paying attention, and it is good for journalism right now. America is safer or more in danger than it's ever been, but we have someone at the helm who can help us, lead us through if we do get attacked.
Well, we weren't going to be able to keep up what was happening, and so whatever challenges that we have in front of us, I think we have more people to help us now. I think people are getting on board, and it's
Right.
about this golden age. This let's get back on track. And it's just like I was talking about before. The young people were like, "How am I ever going to afford a house?" Everybody.
No idea that
Everybody's got a dog in the hunt, except for the rich
Well
folks
said.
that want to,
and even they are coming around.
and they're coming around.
The ones that aren't totally committed to globalism, the ones that are
Oops, sorry.
thinking that free speech and freedom is more important than globalism.
Well,
All right.
we watched the mayor of California come around right in front of our very eyes.
Mayor of Los Angeles, she sure did.
Yeah, not
Y'all smash
California.
that like button. I forgot to say that. Like, share, and subscribe.
I think you said that.
Did I say smash the like button? I always forget.
don't
to say
know.
that. I say like, share, and subscribe. What I mean is smash the like button.
Oops.
But man, Anthony, I'm so glad you were here.
No
This
doubt,
was
brother.
fun.
Thank you.
This was fun to have enough Wi-Fi to get through a whole show. And I'll be putting on my notes in the community notes announcements for the other shows, and whether or not I'm going to change the time to 5 o'clock on Tuesday, possibly 5 o'clock Tuesday and Friday. Maybe I'll do the Bible show on Friday nights and do this show on Tuesday, and hopefully you can join me whenever you can. Whenever you feel like it.
All right.
All right. You guys take care, Johanna. Oh, it was fun, wasn't it? You have a blessed evening too. Let's go out with a prayer.
All right. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this first week under President
Yes.
Trump. We pray your heavenly hedge of protection around him, around his staff, around his appointees. And we just lift up that you would guide and direct all that he's doing. We are so grateful. We prayed for so long. Thank you for what feels like you honoring us, getting on our face and seeking yours, and help us turn from all of this dark stuff that's been going on. We are so grateful for the people that have been involved. We lift up all the subscribers, our friends, our family, and we just pray that everybody in this world would know you personally In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, honey. Thank y'all for being here. Have a wonderful rest of the week and keep up with the notes because I'm going to be putting some info in there about the shows, I guess.
Yeah, what she
Tell
said.
a friend. Tell a
What
friend.
she said. All right. Thanks again, Anthony.
Yeah,
Johanna.
thanks, Anthony. Johanna, have a good night. Yeah, Jose, we're going to fuss at you later.
Don't forget to text Mr. Reagan that he's got to be
Gotta
in
get
the
him a
press
press
briefing.
pass. Wouldn't
He's
he
gotta
be
get a
great in
press
there?
pass.
He's so handsome.
He would be hilarious.
He
He
would
would be
good.
like, I would like to ask a question. And then they'd make him ask one question and he'd have to be quiet.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Let's see where we go. In stream and
See ya.
inside.